This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you. Nice. I love it. Thank you all for coming to, that's a canned round of applause, by the way, just so everybody knows it's on record. So thank you all for coming to Wahoo Willie's for another Sunday show with the mayor.
You hesitated there. I thought you forgot where you were for a minute.
No, I can never forget.
Because you know,
yeah.
old
And
age is setting in.
yes, it is.
For all of us.
Here we go, right from the beginning. She's got her boxing gloves
I said
out.
for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in honor of their return, I have to
It's nice to see
fire up my game here.
Tom and Denise Coleman here from Eagle Eye Aluminum, and this is your daughter? Your daughter. Thank you all for coming. We're going to have the ladies from the Women's Club on to talk about St. Patrick's Day in a minute. But first, a couple of quick things. I did want to let you know that I did run today. I ran 3 miles. It was very slow 3 miles because we have
please. I am not even.
we have another 5K competition next Saturday called the Cops and Joggers because we love supporting not only the military but the police, and that's going to be next Saturday evening in
We
Fort
need
Myers.
to do one where there's, you know, EMTs there because by the time I finished the last one, I was like looking for some oxygen to recover.
Sure. So I just want to say, if I know if you watched my walk around this morning, I went to Bay Oaks this morning, and I didn't know they put a sidewalk in around that big giant field over the shells, and that is. I was having a little trouble with math this morning.
I listened to it a little bit.
I was like 0.33. It's not even a quarter of a mile. And then I had to realize that 0.3 is actually more than a quarter of a mile. So it's 9-ish laps for a 3 mile run, a 5K. But you have to kind of, for the last few laps, I ran off the sidewalk close to the fence. And then, just to kind of, I didn't want to run 10 laps because I felt like I was going to die to begin with.
So what was your pace?
It was very bad. No. And so, but I mentioned
he says this, and then the race day comes, and he takes off like
but
a shot.
Because the thing is, when you're
He's such a sandbagger.
when you're in a scrum of people and you're competing against them, it's a whole different scenario. Like when you're running by yourself in a circle, it's not the same thing as hearing people, pant out of breath running next to you. You want to beat those folks and you want to pass people, and so that's the difference. I just think that
the only time I'm really running fast is if I'm being chased by like a bear or something.
You've never been chased by a bear.
I haven't been chased by a bear, but I have been mugged, and I did try to run pretty fast then.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for me well, but I tried.
A real quick sidebar to that. This was when there was an Albertsons in Fort Myers. Like, she was walking into the Albertsons with her pocketbook on at the time, and they come up from behind her and they snatched it out of her hand. Instead of her just standing there and calling the cops, she ran after them. She ran to the back behind the building where there were 3 dudes getting in their car, and she jumped in the window to try and get her purse back. Like, no sane woman or person would ever do something that dumb, thinking that nowadays, yeah.
I will say I ran so fast, I lost one of my shoes.
Oh, up more.
So
I thought you said turn it down.
You went too far.
Turn it down? Is that okay now? All right.
Listen,
Sorry.
folks, I tried to tell him.
Well, Tom is in charge of the sound there.
Well,
anyway,
apparently he can't hear.
The only reason she dove into the car to get the pocketbook back was because it had my keys in it to my vehicle, whatever it was at the time, and she was afraid.
It had my keys and his keys. So we had no keys.
Yeah.
And long story short, they did catch them because of my, I was able to make a visual. Believe me, we were up close and personal by the time we finished because the car started to take off. And then I was like Fred Flintstone trying to unhinge myself.
Could have died. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, sure.
And anyways, the only thing they found in that stolen vehicle was one set of keys, and it was his car keys.
Yeah.
So,
So that was 100 years ago. But
yeah, I could run much faster back then.
So if you haven't signed up for the Cops and Joggers, it's next Saturday in
Is that
Fort
up a
Myers.
hill?
I don't know where it is. I don't remember where it is. And then I could turn
Close.
mine down. And
Yeah.
then the next night race is the Edison Festival of Lights, which is also in Fort Myers. So we can only
Those
run
are-
night races.
Those
now.
are big races too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition.
One other quick thing I want to mention. If you haven't checked out our Facebook page, you're going to have to scroll down a little bit to see that we have a GoFundMe on there for Debbie. What's Debbie's last name, Howie? Debbie Roxanne? Yeah, you probably recognize her from her time volunteering at Beach Baptist and at Buttonwood. She had a scooter accident on Fort Myers Beach, and she was knocked up pretty bad, and so she needs in her neck. So she needs a little help with her finances. If you can help out with the GoFundMe, I'll move it up on our Facebook page later today, but you scroll down to, I think it was 2 days ago that we put it up there. Any help would be great for her. She's a wonderful person and has really helped out the community over the last few years. So
And those, and
Yes.
you know, any kind of surgery, any kind of, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Whether you have insurance or not, it's still really, really expensive.
All right, let's get to our first guests. They are from the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club, which we are both members because we love the Women's Club. Deb and Barbara are here to tell us about a couple of their next events that are coming up. We have, they're not specifically here to talk about don't move your chair at all. Can you move the camera away from me a little bit and more toward? Go ahead, Barb, you're good. They do have
We'll get
the
it fixed.
Putt and
We'll get it
Pub, which is
fixed.
coming up on the
I don't wanna-
17th.
I'm going to fall. Yeah.
Toward
just a
away
scooch
from me.
bit.
Oh yeah, perfect. All
Perfect.
right. So you want to mention real quick the Putt and Pub? What's going on with that before we get on to the main course?
Sure. We've got the Button Pub coming up on January 17th. I believe all the teams are full for this, but you can come out and have the time of your life. Everyone is dressed in different costumes. I think there's 78 teams or whatever. And instead of 9 bars this year, there's 12. So everybody putts, everybody has fun. The awards are given off at Margaritaville.
That's an
After-
endurance putt race.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trust
12.
me, we've been there, done that.
That
It's a
Is it
people.
9
Oh.
holes?
gotcha.
It's
Okay,
a-
thank you.
still-
Thank you.
It's definitely a people watching event, folks. Just find a place to sit and watch. Folks get dressed up on the teams and they have great outfits, and it's a big event. I think.
Hydrate before that event.
Yeah.
please.
Do we?
Last year we dressed as I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes, I
Yes,
remember that.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Do we know who the band is at Margaritaville? Is it Deb and the Dynamics or? Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out by the time you guys.
And
see.
normally, if you get a hole in one, you get shots. So if you get lots
Okay.
of holes in one, you're really drunk by the 5th hole.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you'll call an Uber to get yourself wherever you need to go.
But there's also every hole is sponsored by a different 501(c), and they all have baskets that you can put raffle tickets in. It helps build the funds that go back to them. Great prizes. Just come out, check it out, and just have the time of your life.
All right. So the next big event is your second annual St. Patrick's Day parade. The first parade was just crazy successful and bigger than you thought it was going to be, or everybody thought it was going to be. And this year, now you got to be bigger, got to be better. So here we
are
go.
bigger, and we are going to be better.
Lay it on, everyone.
The website is live to register for the parade. It's on our website for the Women's Club, which is www.fmb-wc.org. Or if you can't remember that, just go Google the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club. It'll take you down to the St. Patty's Day. You can register for your float there. It is $50 to register for a float. This year it is a fundraiser for the Women's Club versus last year it was like, let's get some fun on the south end of the beach. You can also register for VIP tickets. We have a VIP tent that's cushy chairs and couch. It's your own private bar area. There's some carpet in that area. You have food, bigger, at least 60 foot by 20. We're trying to get it 30 by 60 if we can. We might have to create some new tents. And you have food vouchers with your VIP. You have free drinks with your VIP. You have a little swag cooler. We have a double-sided full bar this year for everyone, a bigger tent for general public. We have 5 food trucks this year. Those food trucks are Eden's Earth, Wind, and Fryer. They are an Irish food truck. So they will have strictly just Irish food. Charo Brothers on the beach. We like to keep the business on our beach. We had Loud Italian Pizza. They have a new truck with, they'll do fire roasted pizzas. We have Between the Buns. They are making it back. That was Ed's favorite last year, and they had to cancel last minute.
Between the Buns.
Between the
Is that-
Buns.
I'm not even going to say.
I don't
what kind
even
of
remember
food are
that
they?
being my
I'm not going
favorite,
to
but if
say.
you say so.
This is a family friendly show,
Yes.
right?
No, I
Yes.
know. What are they? What food are
Is
they?
it a hot dog?
Like, is
It's hot dogs. It's
Okay.
hamburgers. It's any kind of meat that you
That's
want,
what I
but it's in
thought,
a
but I
bun, like a
still-
sandwich.
It's
but-
not one of those trucks where you have to check your ID at the door and go inside.
No,
right?
no, that is not allowed at our.
Is the weed
Parade.
truck going to be down there or no?
No,
No.
Okay.
Sweet Melissa's?
we have
Tom
Sweet
wanted to know.
Melissa's. So if you've been there and had their ice cream bites, they're back. They'll be there, and they're also serving coffee with Bailey's in it in the morning. The bar opens up at 8:30 that morning.
In case you're new to Fort Myers Beach, everything revolves around drinking. In case you didn't
Cocktails.
know that, a lot of events
But you
revolve
can
around
always
drinking
have a mocktail or water.
or
you
a
know,
non-alcoholic
inter-
beverage.
mix it up
Yeah.
because especially the putt and pub, that's a long
Yeah,
day.
that's a long day.
Yeah.
But on a holiday or a get together like that, it doesn't
Yes.
count,
Yeah,
right?
Barb, are you okay over there? All right. Well, how come you're not
Apparently-
saying anything?
I'm
Come
a
on, Barb.
Apparently your
jabberbox.
liver just takes a vacation
Yeah.
that day.
By the way, the parade starts in Santini Plaza and it winds down to Lazy Way, where the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club building was and will be in the future.
Sterling.
And so you can line Sterling, so
Sterling.
you can line up along the way. We'll be broadcasting the parade live if you're not in town. Somewhere
March
around
14th.
somewhere around. Thank you. Somewhere around the finish line there. And is there going to be
The
any
finish or the start line?
the finish line? No, we're
Oh.
going to change it this year. We're
Okay.
coming closer to the end. Is there going
No,
to be
we
any?
are coming closer to the end for sure. For sure.
Wait a second. I don't know how to take that.
6-7-6-7.
she keeps doing that at home. 6-7-6-7. Is that a thing?
So
What is that?
we were talking about something and he came out with this piece of paper with 34 on it. And I'm not going to get into what the 34 was.
That's a private
But
thing.
it was a private thing, and we were joking, and I said, "Oh, like 6-7-6-7," and he looked at me totally like deer in the headlights, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's right."
What is it?
It's
I
just
thought you
some,
said 6-7, 6-7.
Well, yeah,
Like,
she was going like
like
this,
this.
6-7.
didn't
I mean,
like
what was
that.
that? I thought, what was that all about? Like you just did, Deb. Yeah.
6-7, 6-7.
All right. This show's going off the rails already, and Dan's not even on yet. So, now I forgot what. Go ahead, Barb. I forgot what I was going to say.
I just wanted to tell everybody who our bands are
Oh,
so far this year. Dunbar High School Band, which was awesome, just
Amazing.
awesome. Cape Coral High School Band, they were
Yeah.
great too, and South Fort Myers High School Band. So we
Nice.
you
I'll
got the
tell ya,
big ones,
you've
yeah.
got the big ones. Yes,
We've got a 4th one in the works. We're just waiting for it
There's
to come through.
nothing better in a parade than a marching band. I've been saying that for all of
Yes.
my 60 years since I
Yes.
was first shot out of the womb. I said there needs to be marching bands in a parade. What I think needs to happen too is, and I know you guys don't want to hear my dumb suggestions, is there needs to be like where a tent by the finish line or somewhere where the band turns around and faces like like the mayor is there and the town manager and the poofity poofs and the muckety mucks are sitting there watching the band, and it's almost like you have a competition, and then they grade the bands or whatever, and so they can stop like the Macy's Day Parade where they stop. Well, at least these guys will be actually playing compared to all the bands that go to the parade in New York City, where they get a chance to play a full song. And I know that probably slows down the parade, but it was slow last year and nobody had a problem with it, right?
It was cool.
Yeah.
we love suggestions.
Thank you. I'll put it in the suggestion box, and I'm sure you guys
Yeah, I
will
know
flush
where
it right
that
down
goes,
the toilet.
yeah, right?
We are also giving prizes. The
Sweet.
prizes for first place for a non-motorized, a golf cart, cars, motorcycle, vehicles with trailers, $500. The second place is $300 for non-motorized, golf carts, cars, motorcycle, vehicle, or trailers. And the third place is $200. So
Nice.
come out and make
Get your
yourself some money.
decorations, yeah.
Decorate.
How do people get a float or involved in the parade? What do they do?
So Barb's going to pass these around in a little bit. This is the flyer that we have for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. On there is our website. So if you go onto that website, you can click on it and register your float there. It will ask you what type of vehicle you'll have, how many vehicles, golf carts, people, just so that we can give you enough space to get lined up in. So she will hand those out to you. You can also purchase your VIP tickets through this website as well.
And if I might add something about the website, it's fmb-wc.org. If you can't make it in a float to the parade, if you can't come to the parade, if you can't do any of the events, please sign up and become a member of the Women's Club. It's like $50 a year or whatever, or $75 a year. And I know Joy is watching, and we're thinking about Joy and her mom right now. Her mom's a little sick, and she's in charge of membership. All you need to do is volunteer to some of the events. That's really your main responsibility. Becoming a member is to help. You know, there's always a core group of people that help out with events, like with our races and things like that. You see the same faces, and they could always use some additional volunteers. And that's really all you get asked to do. And that money goes toward the rebuild of the building, which is a big deal. It costs a lot of money to rebuild that building. And it's only $75 for a year. So and dudes are allowed. It says the Women's Club, but dudes are allowed. So let's get some new members to the Women's Club and help out whenever you can. And if you can't, you can't, but you're making a donation toward the rebuild of the Women's Club, which is very important. So
I have a couple more things about it too. Last year, we had just one band play at the after party. There will be two bands playing this year. One is called CC Rocks. And I have to tell you, I kind of grew up with this band in my younger years. I know that was a lifetime ago. They were just inducted into the Iowa Hall of Fame for rock and roll bands.
Go Iowa.
They are now retired, but they're playing down here. So I'm really excited for them to play. Our other band is the Driftstone. So we'll take a half-hour break between the two. Instead of the event ending at 3 p.m. this year, we're going until 5 p.m. this year.
Sweet. Now, one small detail that I know you're not going to mention that I always make sure I mention in there is the toilet paper in the porta potties is very soft, everybody. So you don't have to worry about bringing
We
your
buy
own.
nothing but the best.
That's
and
right.
there's air fresheners in there.
Yes,
So if you
top of
take
the
a
line.
Humpty Dumpty, use the air freshener.
What is that? Very nice. Does anyone have any questions about the parade or the Women's Club?
And I
or-
posted the information. So
Very nice, dear. You are a wizard at that.
I am
Facebook
Johnny
thing.
on the spot.
Yes. Barb, anything else to add?
I'm going to be passing out the sponsorship levels,
Right.
and they are 10,000, 5,000, 2,500, 1,000, 500, and 100.
And
so
what do you
everybody
get?
gets a chance to
And-
be a sponsor.
She's got the sponsorship sheet, so it
Shows you
shows
what
on
you
there
There you go.
what comes with that sponsorship. With certain sponsorships, you get free tickets into the VIP tent, which the VIP tent, we had people begging to get in there last year.
Yeah, it was
It-
very cool. You
it
had
is nice.
carpeting
It was
and nice
nice.
cushy
Yep.
chairs, and
Your
I
own
saw the
personal
mayor-
bartenders.
the mayor had a recliner with his feet up and people serving him drinks last year. It was out
Peeling
of this
him
world.
grapes. Hey, did you announce
Danny.
who
The
the
big
Grand
feathers.
Marshal was?
Grand Marshal is
Alex King.
Oh, very nice. Big hand for
Perfect.
Alex King. He does so much for the community
He
with his
does.
donations.
I feel like you
and
should wear a
yes.
big green top hat
Yeah.
and carry like a
Oh, he knows how to
stick
dress up
and-
goofy.
He will
Yeah.
dress
oh,
up.
he'll dress
He'll
up.
dress
He'll
up.
dress that up.
All right, ladies. Thank you very
Thank you
much for
very
coming
much
on
for
the Fort Myers
having
Beach
us.
Women's Club, everybody.
We have to get our outfits. We have to get
I don't dress up. for
proper
things.
attire.
Yes.
Yes.
And while somebody kick Howie out, what are you doing with all the yelling over there,
Thank
mister?
you, Howie.
All right, come
He
on
just
down,
loves
Dan.
women in
Big hand
general.
for the mayor of Fort Myers Beach, everybody, Dan Allers. And as Dan is making his way down the aisle, I did want to let you all know that the Legal Aid Society of Lee County is holding a special event on January 14th at the library. And if you didn't see the show yesterday, we had representatives from the Legal Aid Society on the show. And they're still interested in helping people out who are 50
Yep.
and over that have had issues from hurricanes Ian, Milton, Leonore, or whatever the heck their names were, whether it's
Helene,
with contractors.
Milton, Idalia.
Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
It's all right.
And I would say they said often, yes, it says 50 and over, but you don't have to be. You can be under 50. It doesn't have to be about the hurricane stuff. Just come, bring whatever, bring your documents.
Documents
That
are
was
important.
the big thing. Bring whatever contract or paperwork that has signatures on it. That's what the gentleman said.
Yeah.
And
they-
emails and other stuff too, but the
Now-
signed stuff is the legal stuff.
that meeting on the 14th that you go, there's going to be at least 3 attorneys there, will be free to you. After that, I'm not sure how the whole thing works, but at least you're going to get free legal advice, which
Yeah.
really doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
And there still are people on Fort Myers Beach that have impacted by contractors
Yeah.
and different things.
At
and-
least it's a consultation. I called a lawyer just to do a consultation. It was $350, like just to even get a question.
That was to answer the phone.
was
yeah,
that
I was like,
it wasn't
whoa.
a divorce lawyer, was it? Jeez.
Yeah.
So then, and that's, by the way, just to remind you of the
taking
date.
the 5th.
It's January 14th at 9:30. It starts at 9:30. And look for Andrew. He's the executive director of the Legal Aid Society, and that's at the big giant Fort Myers Beach Library.
And we're hoping to maybe collaborate with them on something.
Yes, it'd
too.
be great to be able to do a monthly podcast with
Not
them
monthly. That's too much, but
where they answer
maybe
legal questions.
quarterly.
So Dan, before we get rolling on the beach issues, is there any truth to the rumor
Oh, boy.
that you have been called to run the nation of Venezuela?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny.
He's taking the 5th.
Because I heard
No.
we're going to run it, and I was just
Yeah.
wondering if maybe you were on that committee.
No, I have not been contacted.
Would you
by
like to
anyone.
run the country of Venezuela?
I've got enough on my plate. Ed.
You know that. Did you guys see if you take the politics out of it, and I know last night when I posted that about the military operation, which was stunning to me, some people still can't take the politics out of it. That'll all be worked out in the wash.
It's amazing what the United States military
oh
can
my
do.
God!
And the people that think that this just happened overnight,
No, they were
this
practicing.
is months and months of preparation that I can't even imagine went into to accomplishing something like
To
that.
be able to go into a country and turn their lights off so that your helicopters can operate in the dark, to be able to pluck one dude out of a building, a fortified base, is insane. And
I was shocked. I was shocked to hear that. Did you hear when the president was talking about how he was almost to the safe room
yeah.
and he almost had the door. How did he say? He said he wasn't able to get the door closed.
Yeah, I'm sure. So the other thing that I'll let this go, was that if you saw the perp walk, did you guys see the perp walk on TV? It looked like they put Mickey Mouse ears on Maduro. Didn't it look like it? Just I don't know what the hell hat was he wearing where it looked like Mickey Mouse ears to me.
Well, the
So-
memes and the TikToks and all that
Oh,
are,
yeah.
come get me, I'm right here. And then there's some pretty creative people out there with these memes
Oh,
and
yeah.
their TikToks.
Yeah,
Like,
no doubt. So the first thing I did want to mention to you was about Bay Oaks. I mean, I was out there running this morning. The sidewalk is spectacular. The new palm trees are in. What do you guys have any vision for the field?
There's nothing concrete yet. We've had discussions with people over the last few months about things that we could do there. Obviously, activating that's a big park,
Yeah.
a big open
Yeah.
field. There's a lot of different things that can be done there. So I would say if anybody has any good ideas, bring them forward, bring them to Will. He'll be more than happy to put it together with the staff, and any recommendations I'll bring to the council. But
What do you
it's a big space. I'd love to see it
Yeah.
activated.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think should go there?
I don't know. I thought about a band shell, so have a separate area where you have
That's been
music playing
discussed,
down
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it seems like there's a good amount of parking where you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about parking. And
Oh, we got that. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good ideas, but I think activating that space would be.
I don't know, football field for maybe more pickleball. There was people out bright and early in the morning playing on those pickleball.
Well, that
courts
was
today.
that was one of the requirements of the grant that we got for the $1 million, is that it had to be a multi-purpose field. So, it has to be able to house soccer or football or baseball, softball, those kind of things. So I don't see like any kind of major development happening there,
Yeah.
but
It's
activating
not
that
going to
space.
be like a water park or anything.
No,
like
that,
that.
I doubt it, but I mean, it's a big
Roller
just-
coaster.
I see people taking their dogs down there now, and they're walking their dogs around that dog path. I know, Councilor Adderholt was always about, can we get a dog path to walk, people walk
Yeah.
around and stuff. So it's nice to see people there, that you're starting to see a lot more activity at the exercise park there at the front.
So
Yeah, did they put? I saw a little bit of your video. Are they going to put like little exercise stations on that? Like at Lakes Park, they have that where they have little,
well, they have the exercise facility right there. With
Well, so a little,
no, but on the path there.
yeah, possibly. I mean, so the inspiration of that whole idea, when Andy Hyatt and I and Frankie were up in Tampa, we went and I walked him down there's a boardwalk you can go down along the river there.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a similar type park that has a band shell, and it's just a big wide open field. It has restrooms, and you can walk around the outside and there's shade and there's places. So that was kind of the inspiration or the idea behind that. Not trying to recreate exactly what Tampa has, but have our own version of something
Right.
like it to be able to, whether it's exercise and walk around or be able to sit down in some shade and, get something to drink, some water, whatever. But so that was the idea. It all takes time and money, as we
Yeah.
all
Well,
understand.
there was-
What about a pavilion where people could rent it out to have outdoor parties?
There's all kinds of different
Yeah.
ideas, and I'm sure it's gonna, as money comes and we can start doing things, we will.
There was one thing. There was no bathroom anywhere close that was open, which was it was a problem for me. So when
Not
you
even
get
the
to
one
a
by
certain,
not by the.
it
Little League
was. I
field?
guess it was a little too early for it to be open. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah,
But,
I don't.
but anyway, hey, Will is here. Will, do you want to come on with us and participate? I mean, if you're here, we might as well. A big hand for the town manager, everybody. Will McInerney. Yeah, move over. He's on. You're going to move over?
No. This is great because now I don't have to say I'll get back to you.
Yeah. So, Will, what ideas have you heard of for the park?
I love all those ideas that we were just talking about. Jeff Augie, our community services director, and I have had several conversations about that. Really glad to see, and thanks for the walk around, Ed, this morning. We're glad to see the path in concrete now, much more durable. It'll last a lot longer and be a great asset. But the palm trees as well.
Yes.
And we're going to be seeding.
Yeah,
we've had a
in
bad
case you're,
experience.
we got a crow hanging
And-
above our head, and we're
and-
hoping none of us get blessed with good luck.
And he's looking out the window too. So, can somebody
This
shoo him
happened-
away?
This happened before.
So, listen to what happened at our house. I don't mean to sidebar this.
no,
I'm
it
telling
happened
this-
at the beach.
So we've got a big
No,
giant tree.
No,
you don't want me?
no,
Oh, I can't tell that
no,
story. All right,
no.
never mind. She doesn't want to get in trouble.
And
So
we're
go ahead,
walking.
Will.
All right. Well, we're going to be reseeding it because the first seed didn't take too well.
In
as
the
you
middle
know.
field. In the middle.
Yep.
of the
So we're
field?
going to be reseeding it, and it will be a multi-purpose
I don't
field
want to get
initially.
stepped on.
And then I love the ideas of potentially, some type of a performance stage or something on one end of it, a band shell, and then some other areas for both event and community use over time. Want to keep as much multifunctionality there as we can.
Will, I would be. It would be crazy for me not to ask you what you thought, politics aside, because you were in the Army, and you're a military veteran. What did you think of that operation? Just taking the politics aside, that all work itself out.
Well, yeah, of course, Ed. I'll always take the politics out, as you know. Just a tremendous operation by those involved. Always, like the mayor said, lots of planning, lots of resources go into this. There's thousands of people involved in these types of operations. Delta Force, in this case, was the tip of the spear, which is the Army's basically, top level of special operations. But in support of them, just thousands of men and women of all different government agencies and capacities. And also, we were in support of, I believe, the DEA on this particular operation, as it was a law enforcement operation, which the military does frequently. So very proud of them for what they did. I know, I did some similar type things, not to this extent, but when I was in the Balkans with some war criminals. So it takes a lot of planning, a lot of precision operation. And it's not over yet.
Will,
And the fact that no loose lips, like nobody can say anything, and that's a lot of people to swear to secrecy there.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's why he would never make it.
Well,
'cause
I couldn't imagine what would happen to someone if they did have loose lips and something like that. That would be
he'd go down.
militarily.
Hey,
I can't
there's
imagine
an
that would go
idea.
over well.
But Will, the thing that was I don't know, maybe because you've been there.
All right, and then this is that.
Yeah,
Move on.
there had to be an asset close to Maduro for us to be able to pinpoint it like that, right? Do you think somebody from their government was working for the CIA in order for that to be pulled
You
off?
just love a good conspiracy.
I don't
not
know.
a conspiracy.
No, I mean, I think it's based in reality, what you're talking about, Ed. Definitely, I have no doubt that we had human assets on the ground for a long time and have for a long time, as we often do. So, and that they probably had local sources that were assisting. No doubt about it. I mean, it's always a part of all of the intelligence preparation that leads up to these operations.
Yeah. And lastly on this, and I'll let it go after this. Although we should just do our military podcast. So when Bin Laden was taken out, before that you never heard from the special ops guys. Now they all got their own podcasts, and the guy that shot him or claims he shot him, he's everywhere. O'Neill. Do you think that eventually this will come out the same way, the details of this operation?
No,
Oh,
Army
Cool.
Delta Force is different.
I see.
Yeah, the true quiet professionals. Not to knock our
SEALs.
brethren in the Navy. Navy SEALs are fantastic. We all know that very much. But it's just different. There's a reason why probably none of you, maybe only a few in this room, had even heard the term Delta Force before they was even mentioned.
Gotcha.
Recently.
Well, I remember back in like the 80s or 90s, Chuck Norris was in a movie called
Yep.
Delta Force.
Yep.
That was a good movie. If you haven't had a chance, go back and watch it. That's when Chuck Norris was a BA.
I know we're getting off this subject, but I
Okay, you said that was
I know
the
I'm not
last
going to
one.
ask about that, but I started, everybody scrolls to their phone. Somehow the have you heard of the 3 of 7 project? The 3 of 7 project comes up, and there's this guy who I think was either a SEAL or a Delta Force. He looks like he belongs on Duck Dynasty. He's got like a beard down to here, and he's an ultra marathon runner now, but he was in one of the special forces. And he does this. Do you think you could do this now, Will? He does this this 24-hour walk where you have to have a backpack on, but you can't stop moving. You have to be walking for 24 straight hours. You get to refill the food and the water and the whole thing. And the object of the whole thing is teamwork and to support your fellow men. It was all men in this video that I saw. Do you think you could do that now at 24 hours of straight walking with a backpack? I know you got a bad back.
My feet are not currently conditioned for that, is what I would say. Other than that, I could probably do it, but my feet are a little out of condition for
I
that.
see.
I love it. I love it. My
Dan,
feet.
could you do it?
Yeah, sure.
Not even thinking about it.
I don't
You
know.
could do it.
I don't know what Will's talking about. My
I
feet are
mean,
conditioned for it.
I
If
think 24 hours of walking, yeah.
I can
think
walk
it-
around in flip flops for 24 hours.
It was in the hills of Georgia, by the way, so there was some
Oh,
hiking
yeah,
involved
yeah,
in it. It
no,
wasn't
well,
like
all right,
walking
I'm out.
around the loop at Bay Oaks, Dan.
I mean, if you just have to walk up and down Fort Myers Beach for 24 hours, I could probably do that.
There's a new race, a new fundraiser. We'll start that.
I just
Yeah.
think walking for 24 hours is boring. I
Well,
just
maybe
think I would be
maybe
bored
we'll
of-
do that. Maybe we'll do it as a fundraiser. How
Yeah.
There
long?
you go.
How long can the mayor walk on Fort Myers Beach? So it's 24 hours, and I got to walk up and down the sidewalk for 24 hours, and you get to pick a board and put a bet on when I'm going to actually stop.
Oh, so the
I'm
big,
up for some fun.
yeah, the big story.
I mean, I don't need the exercise, but yeah, I would do it.
So let me rewind a little bit as we get back to the issues. One of the big stories going on right now is this this new helicopter business that's planning to operate in the Back Bay. And actually, Will introduced me to the owner of the company a couple of weeks ago, and I never heard back from him until I said I never heard back from him. Then I heard from him, and he, I don't know what the story is. I don't know what kind of permits you need for stuff like that. I know it's 1,000 feet away from Fort Myers Beach, or you don't need beach permits. But Will, what do you know about the business, and what can you share with people about what's going on there?
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Initially, the owner of Fly Heli reached out to us a couple of months ago, indicating that he had an interest in offering types of tours in this area. I told him then we'd love for him to come in and have a conversation with us. We talked to him if he wanted to operate within the jurisdiction of Fort Myers Beach, how he could apply for that and try to obtain permissions. Other than that, he'd have to speak with Lee County or other officials around the area. And then in further discussions, he asked for as much advice as we could give him, and we gave him definitely. Have you talked to Coast Guard? Yes. Have you talked to Lee County? Yes, we've had some initial counties. Have you talked with FWC and FDEP and others involved with the environmental concerns? And he said he would do that, and we gave him the contact information for those agencies for him to do so. I had further conversations with him, encouraging him to do that as much as possible. He indicated that he was having those discussions with them, and he had received, all the advice and guidance from them that was necessary. So we had some discussions back and forth where he did want to potentially operate within the town, put the barge, say, in a part of our mooring field. Again, I talked with him on what would be required permit-wise with the town. We don't currently have a specific permit for that, but we would definitely develop a process making sure that it would go through all the right approvals to include most likely council before we move forward with something like that. He then indicated, okay, I'm just going to move outside the 1,000 feet boundaries of the town. But the dialogue has been good. He's been very responsive every time we reach out and ask him a question, and every time I encourage him to reach out to one of those agencies. Also, I did receive a lot of feedback from the community, specifically some of our environmental members of the community who are very involved with the dolphins, the birds, and others.
manatees,
Others of our protected species and protected areas around the island. I provided Steve with their contact information. Steve Overy, sorry, he's the owner of Fly Heli. I provided him with the contact information for those individuals and strongly encouraged him to reach out to them. And that's where it is right now. I know there's still a lot of concerns. We will continue to forward on those concerns to the owner of the company and do whatever we can as a town. But right now, the way he's operating is completely within the authority of other agencies, not us.
So I did try to set up a town hall meeting on Tuesday at 5:30 with Steve and the community. So I don't know if he's going to do that or not. I mean, if you just,
That would be great, I think.
I think answering questions from the people that are concerned is always helpful when you're operating
and
something.
I mean,
Well, I
the
think
comments-
I want to give credit where credit is due. I read one of the comments on, I think it was your story, John Koss, who we all know on the island, great advocate for the school, small business owner. His comment, I think, was spot on. And basically what he said, and I'm paraphrasing, is we encourage all businesses that want to come to operate within the town of Fort Myers Beach, as long as you're meeting all the guidelines to do it. And he went on further to say, we all want to protect the environment. We all want to do the things that are right. But if you're working within the confines of what the rules are, then you should be welcome to be able to come in and do that work. Just because you live here or you've lived here your entire life or you just moved here, it's not my island. It's not his island. It's not your island. It's all of our islands. And if you're meeting all the requirements to be able to do it, you should be able to allow to do it. And if he is, great. If he's not, then he needs to come into compliance or he needs to be violated.
Well,
Right.
and I think too, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what FWC says, because I think I don't know if this is the first time there's been a helicopter that's gone into the waters on a barge. There might not be an existing rule in place where there should be and where something like this may develop. So, I mean, that's the other thing that's hard is when, there's a new situation.
My concern comes, and I've only had a brief conversation with Steve. I know Will has had many more conversations than I have, but my concern is, when what I've seen sitting on the council seat is when you start to give people, the council votes and they give you your permission to do whatever it is you're going to do. They then take that and they run further with it, or they don't do what they say they're going to do. And that's what bothers me. And I'll give you a perfect example. Driving down the beach today, I passed Beach Baptist. They stood in front of us and told us they were not going to have people camping on their property. There's 2 campers on their property today when I drove by. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. Steve told me I'm not going to operate or fly over Fort Myers Beach. I've personally watched him fly, or whoever's flying the helicopter, fly over Fort Myers Beach twice. So don't say you're going to do something and then don't do it. That's where I have a problem. So as long as you're operating and you're doing things that you say you're going to do, I'm fine with it. But when you get permission to do something and then you do the complete opposite of what you've told both the council, our staff, and the public, now I have a problem with it. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
No, well, we'll see.
No,
I mean, I think it's
So
easy to see that a helicopter out in the water, that close to the water, if there's wildlife in there, it's going to bother them. I mean, I've gone up in a helicopter once, and just over at Page Field, the amount of noise and wind on takeoff, it's inconceivable to me that wouldn't impact the wildlife, but we'll see. There may not be a rule for it. I don't know.
Well, again, I think to Will's point, that's where FWC and FDP comes into play.
So
not you
I was
guys.
trying to post this picture that I think everybody has seen that Christy Hennessy sent me this morning of the birds that are, I mean, they're right in front of the helicopter.
Right.
I mean,
I saw the same
it
picture.
might not be a rule, but if a helicopter takes off from that spot with the amount of those birds, you can't tell me those birds aren't going to scatter. Now, I don't know if that's a bad thing, bird scattering.
Well,
I'm not a bird expert.
Well, I think people that have concern with it, they've obviously reached out to both Will and I and other council members about it. You need to reach out to both the county, FWC, FDP. You need to get the people who have the authority. If there is an issue with it, to your point, Kim,
Right.
those are the people to contact. We can certainly reach out and
Right.
contact them, but you as a constituent, you need to help and you need to reach out to them if you feel that there's something going on. And I have no doubt that Steve probably wants to do the right thing. He operates other places, but
Yeah.
we only have so much jurisdiction. We only have
Right.
so much power that we can enforce within the 1,000 feet. Outside of that, it's really
I think a
outside
lot
of
of people, and I think a lot of people do. The people that have spoken to me understand that
Yeah.
this is not a you guys thing. This is people need to speak out and get the information and get the answers.
Well,
But
even
we're
though-
working on, I brought it up it's not to jump in on you, but we're working on, I think we can see both as a council and as staff, as we continue to rebuild, there's going to be people that come in and take advantage of opportunities as small business owners. And we currently don't have really anything in place other than jet skis and parasailing to regulate that. And I think we really need to do tourist-based regulation to be able to understand, that gives us some teeth to be able to say, these are the guidelines that you have to, so everybody has the same playing field, your insurances are the same, you're doing all the things that you need to do. And we're currently working on that. It'll come up at an MMP meeting here probably in the near future to discuss. So reach out to your counselors, reach out to
Yeah.
Will, not to give you more
and
emails,
just
Will.
the safety. I mean, you brought up about the parasailing. That would take some coordination so that there wasn't.
Well, they're regulated. Parasailing and jet skis are heavily regulated
Yeah.
from the state. And there are regulations for golf carts, electric bikes.
No, I
things
mean,
like
but
that.
with a helicopter flying up around and you up in a parasailing thing, there would take some
Well,
coordination. There.
Well, yeah, again, I think there's plenty of oversight. I'm not a pilot, but I got to imagine that pilots have a very strict thing
I
that
don't
they have to
know.
follow.
Remember that helicopter that went?
Doesn't mean they follow it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's heavy regulation.
I think the people that are commenting know that it's outside the town's jurisdiction,
Yeah.
but they're looking to you guys to be part of what they're.
I don't even
trying-
think there's.
They're
Yeah, to
looking
make
for
sure
help. I think
they're
they're looking for
for
help.
and we're certain.
And we're
and
we're
you could look
definitely
at the FAA and
con-
see what their regulations are, but it's
FAA, yeah, and obviously the first thing that they had to do was get FAA
Yeah,
approval. Steve talked
there's-
about
I
that
don't
right
think
away,
that
and really
that's
the
very hard.
FAA are 1,000 feet above the ground. Now, obviously, they have to climb to 1,000 feet above the ground. So they're going to start off on the platform and so forth. But then our for the town, it's 1,000 feet out around the town. Granted, I'll address the concerns with Steve about them flying within that 1,000 feet or over the island. Because we've had discussions about that, as there'll be ongoing discussions with this and with the members of the community. Again, we hear you, and we are passing along your concerns. We also encourage you to reach out directly, definitely to FWC and FDEP with those concerns, because we're not always there. The town staff aren't always there to see these things. You see these things, pass them along, please. The more that they know, the more that the owner knows, the more that adjustments can be made.
All right. So a couple other things while we have you, Will. And Will, by the way, Will and Abigail are going to be here next Sunday. Is that we still good for that? You think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. She's coming on. Abigail's a new public information officer. And if I could just say one thing about the hire you made there is outstanding so far, Will. I've never seen the town of Fort Myers Beach on TV so much, and the publicity for all the different press releases, the job that she's doing in the first month so far has been incredible. So congratulations on that. Great
Thank you.
hire there.
And I never thought you and I would get served ice cream from a turtle. That was awesome.
And they made Dan look real pretty in that that AI picture.
That's an old picture. Yeah. Yeah. AI does a lot of magical things. Making me look pretty is probably its achievement of a lifetime.
So the big item tomorrow is how to figure out to move forward with filling Jim Adderholt's seat. Is there any more information that either of you can share with the community about whether we know there's going to be deadlines set for applications? We know Jim and Tom Brady are the only two. I did talk to John McClain, and he's not interested. I did talk to Tyler Spradling, who's one of the younger people that's been trying to get on a committee, and he's not yet interested because they're having a new baby is one of the reasons, but he does want to get involved later. But do we know if that's going to be for the remainder of Jim's term or until the next election, which would be November?
You want to handle that one?
Well, yeah. So the latest discussions. Yeah, the latest discussions, and I had another discussion just a couple of days ago with Nancy, our town council, on that, and it's for the remainder of until the general election in November. So the appointment this time will be until the general election in November, and then what we have to discuss tomorrow with council and myself and Nancy will have maybe some recommendations of our own, but want some guidance from council is what will the term of that position be from the general election this November? Will it be 2-year or 4-year? We just need guidance from the council on that. We're going to let them deliberate on that because that's the area where the charter is not specifically clear.
Right.
And neither are our policies and procedures on that. So we need to kind of get some updated guidance on that.
Right. And so there's a chance that in November there'll be 3 seats up, and they might all be for 4 years, or that the 2 seats, John King and Rebecca, will certainly be up for 4 years.
Yes.
And then the 3rd seat for Jim might be up for a different
Either
term.
4 or 2.
Well, that's total clarification that at least you're only going to be in that seat until November,
Yes.
when there's going to be an election. So what else can you tell us about the Estero Boulevard construction? Anybody? I have some people here from the South End that are wondering when the construction on the boulevard is going to start.
I don't know an exact start date. I have had discussions with Rob Price from Lee County and Dave Harner, the county manager, about that. They're looping my staff into the discussions with the contractor. It will be starting in the next couple of months, is what I understand. The exact start date, I don't know. And one of the main reasons I wanted to be involved in the discussions, or at least my team involved in the discussions, is we're strongly encouraging them to potentially start on the south end and work their way north through this process, since the time of year that we're in right now. Have no guarantees of that, but at least we're going to be part of the discussion. So understand the disruptions it's going to cause and the challenges it's going to cause for a lot of our residents and our visitors. But it's, as we all know, we drive Estero every day. We know it's necessary work. Yeah.
The other big question is the bridge lights. The cockamamie way they did that, the bridge lights came on and got everybody excited, and then they went off, and I don't even think they've come back on yet. Do we know what the time frame is there?
I don't have a solid answer for you, a good answer for you today, Ed. It's been a couple weeks since we had a meeting with FDOT on that. So the next meeting, it's top of my list.
They need to put a basket at each end with lights in it so people can get across.
Yeah, you know,
Great
I think people
idea.
are getting light fatigue, myself included. I mean, this is 7 years we've been working
Oh
on
my
this. We understand we've been through storms. We understand this, but I've always been a firm believer of if you don't give a hard deadline and we're going to be done by something, and then you miss it. I mean, you can get away with that once or twice. We're going on 300, 400, 500 times, it
ridiculous.
seems like, but
Yeah.
so I haven't been on the call. Pivoting a little bit from the bridge to Estero Boulevard. I was on the call every weekend or every Friday with FPL about Estero Boulevard lighting, and the last couple meetings because of the holidays I wasn't on. But I'm going to get back on those Friday meetings to find out what exactly is going on. I mean, we've had stuff disappear. There's all kinds of things. At the end of the day, people are using these things as trash cans, and we can't have
Yeah.
that. So
You're talking about the light stanchions where
Yeah.
the red lights are
Yeah.
supposed
they're
to go up for
they're
the
using as
turtle lights. Yeah.
You meet every Friday, and it's still. I mean,
well
it sounds like
via
nothing
Zoom.
changes over
Well, no,
a year. Let
they're,
alone.
well, they're updated. They're up. There's a lot of updates. There's a
There
lot of
are?
yeah. Well, that's what the calls are for. Are updates. They're
Dan, I'm going to have to ask you to take
Can
a
I
step
ask you
a
aside for 2
question?
seconds.
okay.
This is Steve from the helicopter company.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you again.
Steve, come on over.
right.
And if you don't, is that okay, Dan, to take a little break and keep Will there? And come on in, Steve. All right, Steve. Well, this trumps a town hall meeting because then I don't have to get extra chairs. So why don't you tell everybody about your company first?
So Steve Overy, started Fly Heli back in 2012. We're in 13 different locations throughout the Midwest. We've flown hundreds of thousands of people, safety free. So yeah, we just try to bring something new to Fort Myers Beach.
So let me show you the picture. You might have seen it already. The picture of well, I'm gonna put it on Facebook so everybody.
Let
can
me ask
see
while
it.
he's
Go ahead.
finding that
Go ahead.
picture. You said how many other places do you operate?
We're at 12 different places.
Yeah, you
Do
can
you
go on their
do
website and see
a
the cities.
barge situation anywhere else, or is this the first?
This is the first.
Okay.
All right, Steve. So this is the picture that Christy, who lives in that area, sent. This is your barge here, and you can see all the birds there. Can you kind of let the people know that are concerned about the wildlife, how your lifting off from that barge will not impact the birds?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did meet with Ranger Rob the other day. I know he was, a lot of people trust his opinion. He actually took him out to the barge. He agreed that he said, you know what, it's further than what it appears to be. The guidelines, there's not really any guidelines other than they're saying 300 feet. We're about 4 times that.
Okay, no offense to Ranger Rob, but he's an employee of Pink Shell, and he's not really an FWC employee or anything like that. But my question to you again is,
Well, I've met with the FWC.
oh, okay,
And
okay.
what did
So
they
did they
say?
say that's okay then?
We have not been violated with anything.
So just again, so for the people that are concerned about the wildlife, when your helicopter takes off from that barge, well, are those birds going to scatter, or are they going to be fine the way they are?
I haven't had any issues with the birds.
Okay, so they didn't scatter at all. Okay. What about the mention that Dan said your helicopter pilots didn't follow what you said they were going to do, and they did fly
Well,
too close to the beach?
Well, I will tell you that there's other helicopters down here, not just ours. And I've been accused now from multiple people. I'm getting emails on a
Okay.
daily basis saying, hey, your helicopter flew over my house. I'm like, we haven't even flown today. By the way, we haven't done any tours off the barge.
Okay, you're just doing training right now.
And we've only done it a handful of times.
Okay, so are you saying that you weren't the helicopters that flew too close to the beach? You're just to clarify that.
I mean, I'm not going
part.
to say we've never flown over the beach, but there's also no rule that says you can't fly over the beach. But we have not flown over the beach in our training flights.
Did you not tell the mayor or somebody at the town that you would say a certain amount of?
I've never actually spoke to the mayor. I don't believe. Have
okay,
I?
maybe. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what?
Can
Go
I
ahead. Yeah. Go
ask-
ahead. Sorry.
Jeez. So when you talked to FWC, what did they say about dolphins, manatees, not the birds, but the animals in the water, the wildlife in the water? What is
Their point was just stay as far as you can away from them, which we are. You know, we're not targeting the islands. We're not overflying it. You know, we're coming in over the water. We're far, far, far away. You know,
do
over
you
1,000
have like
feet.
depth finders, or how do you know what's out there? Like when you're taking off, like to know
What?
that you're far enough away from it.
Well, I mean, you can go out and measure it if you'd like, but we're over 1,000 feet.
No. I know, but I'm saying if there's dolphins out there 1,000 feet, how do you know if they're out there or not when you take off? That's what I'm asking.
Well, we're not affecting the dolphins. I mean, not any more than the boats going by.
So
You can't tell me the helicopter flying over is affecting the dolphins, whereas you have engines in the water, the cannons going off on the pirate ship and the parasailing boats, the jet skis.
So in your mind, it's all similar in terms of decibels
I think we're causing way
Okay.
less harm than boats are.
Will.
Steve, can you talk about, so some of the videos that I've seen that people are sharing, they talk about, well, you say you're going to be 1,000 feet above, when you fly, at your tour height and everything, but they're showing videos of you flying much lower than that. I think some of them are you ascending to your height from what I would understand. Can you talk about how it takes, to you to safely ascend and descend the platform, and how you try to do that as much as possible within the FWC guidance and within FAA regulations?
Yeah, I mean, we do have to descend in order to get down to the barge. And again, these have been training flights, and I'm going to say we probably landed on the barge less than 20 times throughout the 3-month period.
Yeah, I don't know how you turn this thing.
Go
on,
ahead,
but-
you're on.
Is it on? I don't know.
Go ahead.
All
Let's
right, I
see.
don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'll talk loud. How about, can I borrow your microphone?
Yeah.
Just to make sure. Okay. Steve, thanks for coming on. I
absolutely.
I appreciate it. We did briefly meet, and we'll talk about it. But obviously, you probably have been talking to a lot of people, so you don't remember. And at the time, you didn't know who I was when you were speaking to me. So,
Gotcha.
to in all fairness to you, you didn't understand, who you were talking to. It doesn't, not that it matters, but again, I think what Will has said is the concern is flying over people's homes. It's
Yeah, and
flying
we're-
over the
and-
beach,
and we're avoiding that.
Well, and the instance that I talked about, I physically watched it take off from the barge, and I physically watched it fly over the top of the beach at a very low level. So I'm not saying something that I didn't physically see. Videos are videos, and we know with AI all kinds of things can happen, but I physically witnessed it myself. And as I said at the beginning, as long as you're operating within what all the agencies say you have to operate in, we welcome you to Fort Myers Beach, just like we would Wahoo Willie's or anything else. And I know, if I could give you any advice, and I give this to everybody, when you're coming into a town, if you're not familiar with how this little piece of paradise operates, is communication is key. And the more people you can get in front of and understand their concerns and make sure that they understand that you're going to do everything right, as opposed to trying to be reactive to
Right.
things.
And that's and thanks for bringing that up. I'm not trying to come in here and overfly people's house. I'm not trying to, cause impact to wildlife and residents and tourists. I mean, we're trying to bring something neat to the area
Mhm.
and something that hasn't been done down here before.
And as long as it all, again, I have no issues with it as long as it meets all the requirements that it has to meet. But I really believe that you need to do a focus group with some of the people who have the big issues and sit down with them and understand the concerns, because as most business owners know, you don't know all the answers. You don't have all the answers. And especially if you're operating, I don't know if you have any other coastal communities that you operate in.
We do. We're on a small island, actually, where I've got my start in aviation is Put-in Bay, Ohio. It's a really small little island.
Oh, there's a lot of Ohios down here.
There is a ton of Ohios down here.
So they completely understand. But when you get into a coastal community, it's, being around a lake is one thing, but being in a coastal community, as we learn from construction and we learn from all the other things that go into it, there's much more than what, say, you have to do in Ohio or Minnesota or Indiana or Illinois or those types of places. So I would encourage you to try to have some sort of focus group, if you would, to sit down with the people who want to come out. And you're probably going to get some hard questions, and you're probably going to get some people who are not very polite. But I think as long as they understand that you're trying and they understand that you're listening and you're trying to address the concerns, that would certainly help you get to where you want to go.
Perfect. I appreciate that.
That's all I had. I don't really have.
Yeah,
any
I
questions.
echo the mayor's recommendation there about having a town hall or a focus group or something like that. There are many more stakeholders than just the ones we've talked about, in our meetings. When it comes to the town, FWC, FDEP, Coast Guard, FAA, et cetera. There are other stakeholders here in the community, to the mayor's point, who lead some of our environmental, action groups and focus groups, very tied into that. And I think it'd do you nothing but good to discuss, hear their point of view, and for you to explain to them what you're doing.
Absolutely.
To mitigate those concerns as much as possible. And maybe there'll be some things that you'll learn from them that can help you, do it better.
Well, especially if this is a new venture, the barge landing thing is a new scenario that there may not be, like we were talking, there may not be the regulation, there may not be, an established procedure for all of that. So it's kind of going as a start, as a fresh new,
helicopter
new
tours
territory.
are definitely not a new thing, right? Obviously, Steve.
No, but they're usually over
we're talking about what what you should do. Tell us a little about you. Tell us about how you got started, what made you get started, what it is you plan to achieve, or what you really want to do with the tours that you're going to do here that may be different than the tours you do at the other locations.
Yeah, so I'm a young entrepreneur. I'm 34 years old. I started my business 14 years ago in 2012. I have a 15-month-old baby son. His name's Boston. So I do this to feed my family, and I have a lot of fun doing it.
But what got you started in? What was the?
Are you a helicopter? Are you a pilot?
I am. I'm both
Okay.
fixed wing and rotorcraft. And I grew up kind of by an airport and saw the planes flying overhead, and I fell in love with it.
So what is your intention? Is it just to sightsee? Is it to, I will admit one of the coolest things I've ever seen is someone water skiing behind a helicopter once. That was kind of cool.
I don't think we'll be doing that.
No, I know. But what are your intentions? Just to fly people over, to let them see the area, and what is going to be your range? How far are you going to fly? And what is the tour? What would the tour encompass?
Yeah, so starting right now, we're just going to do beach tours. Take off, go out around the beach, come back to the barge. Eventually, we'd like to do charters, offering charters from one airport to Fort Myers Beach, help to avoid some of the traffic.
Okay. And do you have any intention, and I'm asking this for our sister brother island, depending on what you want to say, Sanibel, just off to the west or northwest of us, however you want to look at it. But do you plan on flying over their island as well?
Yeah, I don't know at this point, to be honest with you.
Okay. Because
Why did you? What?
you think Fort Myers Beach is tough?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Fly over Sanibel once.
Why did you choose Fort Myers Beach versus what about here?
I've been coming here for a long time, and I absolutely love it here. I mean, it's
Okay.
one of my favorite places ever.
Well, this is a tough interview. I mean, you're short and to the point. So
Well,
do you plan on operating one helicopter, two helicopters?
So yeah, we have a helicopter at Page Field that we're operating, and then we're planning on starting the barge operation.
And where, if you're on Fort Myers Beach and all this takes off and it meets all the regulations, where will somebody be able to find you to be able to book their ticket to do this?
So everything right now is done online, but we will be at the Moss Marina, which, by the way, we have no affiliation with Moss Marina other than we're just renting a slip from them.
For the barge.
No, for a boat to take you out to the barge.
Okay. So where does the barge stay out there?
It does. Yep.
Well, and I think people need that's an important point. I think people have to understand that maybe don't understand is once you get outside the 1,000 feet or you're not in the mooring field, it is called a safe harbor. Those that want to come and moor here can moor here. We can't stop them. We can't.
Mhm.
If we can't. I mean, the town of Fort Myers Beach can't. Now maybe other agencies can, but we can't. So as long as you're not in the mooring field and you're out in the safe harbor, that's where your barge is parked. I mean, you're fully within your right to be able to do that. Whether or not you can fly a helicopter off it, I guess we'll find out. I mean, it sounds like you're talking to the right people. But again, I would just go back to encouraging you to, anytime you get updates, especially if it's from FWC, FDEP, the county, whomever, because technically once you get outside the 1,000 feet or you get just over on the other side of the base of the bridge, that's unincorporated Lee County. So if you haven't talked to the county officials, I would strongly recommend that you do that. Commissioner Maleka, I know, pays attention, and all the commissioners pay attention to these shows every once in a while, so they're probably listening. I'd reach out to them to make sure that you're meeting all the guidelines that would maybe fall under their purview when it comes to unincorporated Lee County. But as long as you're meeting everything, I wish you best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Steve,
coming on.
you said you're still training. When do you think you'll actually be starting?
I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay. What's your goal? Just let me know.
I
Keep
will.
me informed.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks.
No,
Yeah.
this is your show. I'm just getting out of the way, man.
Prices will be just a little over $100.
All right, Steve. Thank you very much for coming on. Big.
All
If
right,
you have
thank you.
questions for Steve while he's here,
When was the town hall you were setting up? It was for Tuesday?
why did you switch microphones here? Because you couldn't get Dan
Yeah,
to work.
no, I got it to work.
Give me
It
that one
was for
back.
Tuesday?
It
You're
was
not doing
well,
it?
no, we don't have to now. We interviewed him, so hopefully people
Well,
will get in
but
touch. We'll
I
just
thought
finish.
the
Hell,
people
well,
wanted to.
let's finish up the show real quick with Dan. Come on, you guys could talk after Dan. And I saw that Lee Melsick had some questions on there. Steve, if you want to get
Okay.
all the questions in one big swoop, call Lee Melsick and you'll get all the questions. So that was.
Lee has a wealth of knowledge.
I love when things happen on the fly like that. And you
Yeah,
can
it's
get
kinda
all
fun,
the-
isn't it?
yeah.
I commend him for coming on like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's willing to stand up and and answer the questions, and I'm sure you probably had questions on there we didn't get to, but
Right.
I couldn't see that. My eyes don't. work
Yeah,
like they
no.
used to.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just think that that's to me. I don't know anything about helicopters, but that looks like a bad spot when you see the birds. I mean, and I don't know. I'm just saying. I might be speaking out of school. I just look like, and when you walk
Can I tell
down,
you a really funny helicopter story?
not yet, because I'll forget to finish
I
my
got to
story.
ask a couple questions,
right,
then I
wait.
got to go.
All right, when you go down to where the Wyndham was and you walk around, the people down there get really freaked out when you even walk near the birds, because if the birds take off, it scares the birds, and whatever their life process is, you're getting in the way of it. And even though Chad says the fencing needs to be like 1,000 feet away from where the first bird is, that's an exaggeration, but now they may be different birds, and I don't know what they are, but I mean, it looks close to the birds. That's all I'm saying. I don't know anything about the dolphins and the manatees, if they can dive lower when they hear sounds like that. But I'm just saying.
Well, they use
Well, at the-
echolocation.
Well, at the end of the
so,
day,
I mean,
if FWC and FDP and all the agencies sign off,
yeah, there you go.
then that's all the answers that we need, right?
True. Go ahead, dear. What were your questions that you had?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that short-term rentals, Segway, have been in the news lately. There's a lot of questions around it, but the
Well, before
one,
we go to that, can I tell my helicopter story real quick? Because
you
otherwise I
have
forget.
2 minutes.
It'll take.
Dan.
So a friend of mine, we went to watch his son play hockey in Finland once, and the Finnish coach
The
says
country?
yeah.
You left the United States. What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Let him finish
if you've never been to
finish
Finland,
his
it's
story.
it's beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
Great country.
That whole area is beautiful. So we wanted to go check out Estonia, which used to be Russia, and now they're their own country. So the coach said, you guys got to go check out Estonia. So we said, okay, we'll go check out Estonia. And you could either take a ferry, kind of like you can down to Key West, or you could take a helicopter. So we decided to take the helicopter. So we get in the helicopter and we fly, we'll get over to Estonia. And Estonia is probably the most third world country I've ever been to, as far as when it comes to how far the American dollar goes, I would say.
Mhm.
And we're sitting in this bar, long story longer, and it's just my buddy and I, and he always wears a sport coat. We give him a hard time. We call him Sport Coat Bob. He always has a sport coat on, and at the time I was much younger and much more in shape. So people thought like he was a senator because he was older than me. He served 3 tours in Vietnam. So we became very good friends. So we're sitting at this bar, and this guy comes over and offers to buy us a drink. And we're both looking at him, and we're like, that looks like Bono. That's got to be Bono. And we had a couple beers with the guy. He said he was, and he said he was an oil rig guy. Long story longer,
we had fun with him. We still don't know to this day if it was Bono or not, but we think it was. So we're flying back, and we get in the helicopter to come back from Estonia to Finland. And it's my friend Bob, myself, and then these two guys that get in the helicopter, and it's 2 seats of helicopters, or 2 rows of helicopter seats, and then, it looks like one of those medvac helicopters, right? And we get in the back, and these 2 guys get in, and one guy's got a scar from here to here, and it goes right between his eyes, across his nose, and they were definitely Russian mob. I mean, you could tell they were hammered. And they get in, and my buddy Bob leans over and he goes, there's 3 of them actually. My buddy Bob goes, Dan, I think you can handle 2 of them. I can get the other one. They give us a hard time. We're tossing them out of this helicopter. Anyway, that was my story.
I thought you were going to say Bono was in the helicopter.
No, he
for you.
wasn't.
So
He showed us around Estonia, though. He was pretty cool.
I want you to tell one of those stories at a town council meeting just to see how much life it gets when you're meeting.
Anyway,
Point of order.
So back to back to short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals have been in the news as of late. And it seems like there's a lot that are not registered that now the town is going to crack down on. So, well, one of my questions was there was reference on Wink or one of the news things. I know I'm going to give them credit, even though you get upset they don't give you credit. That there's some new software that was used to what kind. Can you say, is that Delta Force One secret?
No, it's.
No.
Do you want me to handle this, or do you want
Please.
to? Okay, so this happened before Will got here. We were at a Florida League of Cities conference over on the other coast, and we were walking around, and there was something that caught our eye, because we obviously get people who buy on a monthly. People, when they buy, who are going to use it for investment properties, they really look to see, is it a rental for a week? Is it a rental for a month? Is it whatever? But we really haven't had anything in place to be able to ensure that they are complying.
Okay.
And when people buy on a monthly street, most of those people don't want to have a lot of turnover next door. Like, we live on a monthly street. So, the rental property that used to be next door, we were fortunate they abided by the rules, but a lot of people don't. So when we were over at the Florida Cities, we started talking to this company called Rentalscape and looking at what they can do and how they do it. And we thought, well, maybe this would be something that the town of Fort Myers Beach look into. So again, before Will got here, we signed a contract with them, went through staff, they vetted it, went to the council, all that kind of stuff. And actually, no, I don't think it did go through council, because it was below the minimum. It was below
Correct.
the minimum amount
Yep.
that the town manager could spend.
yeah.
So essentially what it does is it looks for bad actors. It looks for those who are operating outside of what the town ordinances are when it comes to short-term rentals. And it does that for what appealed to me about it when I saw it was a lot of people who buy properties down here are distant people, and they don't know
Mhm.
how it's being run. And it gives them an opportunity to be able to keep up on it, to be able to see, for so long, short-term rental companies, and I'm not saying everybody does, but there are some that do it, where they would rent them out for cash and the homeowner would never know. And then they would show up, and then all of a sudden there'd be people in their house and things like that. So we want to make sure everybody's registered, not just because we want to make sure they're registered. It's a safety issue. The fire department has to come in,
Right.
make sure that everything is.
Speaking of that, Gabriella says, I tried to register, but fire inspections are taking more than 2 months.
So I've heard that. Chief Worth is aware of it. The fire commission is aware of it. Like everyone else, they're in a position. And I don't want to speak for the fire department, but they're in a position where there's a lot of backlog, and they're doing their best to try to catch up.
So how do you fix somebody like her when she wants to register, she can't? Is she going to get caught up in the code violation net?
Well, if they're not meeting town ordinances, yes, but I'll let Will speak to that part of it.
If they're not, if in her case she's on a 2-month wait, but she's trying to register,
we have seen
they
those.
should not rent out their unit until that happens. There's no for some of the stuff that's gone on during the storm. Well, if you're making an effort, then you're okay. This is not
Well,
that.
yeah, and sometimes progress is painful, and I think that's kind of where we're at when it comes to this particular issue.
So no, do not rent.
I'm not going to
unless
tell
you're-
people what to do or not to do, but there's rules and procedures, and
But they're
you
not.
know.
You're not going to give them a pass if they're in the process.
well, I can't speak to that, but what I can speak to is if you're in compliance, you're in compliance. If you're not, you're not. And Rentalscape will help us monitor that. We had an issue where I think Will had to walk into it. It wasn't anything that anybody did. It was just a flaw in Rentalscape when it comes to condos.
Condo owners were
Right.
getting violations for things. And if you don't know, condos set their own rules when it comes to short-term rentals.
Right.
So they could choose weekly, monthly. That's between them and their board. But when it comes to the town ordinance, it's very specific as to what is a weekly, what is a nightly, what is a monthly. And if you're trying to operate outside of that, and we have actually gone, if people remember, we had actually tried to go to bat for the short-term rental companies back in the day, because I agree with them, specifically when you talk about the 30-day rentals. If I want to rent at the end of July as a short-term rental company or as a homeowner for a week, knowing that that is my entire month that I can only rent once, I should be able to do that. And I don't disagree with that. The issue was when it carries over. So somebody wants to get a 2-week rental from July to August, and it goes the last week of July into the first week of August. Now that 2-week rental has technically, according to our ordinance,
Used up 2
used
months.
up 2 months, and you can no longer rent it. So the short-term rental companies came to us and said, hey, can we just change the wording to say, once within a 30-day period? And we actually sent it up to the AG, and they basically came back. Well, they didn't say basically. They did come back and say, if you change one word in your ordinance, you lose your grandfather status, which nobody will benefit from.
Yeah,
So-
part of the challenge for the town is the way they set it up on the incorporated was every single property on Fort
It was
Myers
actually
Beach.
it wasn't when we incorporated. I think it was 2014 is when the ordinance came into play.
But every
11,
single
somewhere in
property
there.
on Fort Myers Beach is eligible to be a vacation rental. So it's not like you're just dealing with a certain number. Every single property can be
Sure.
one vacation
Right.
rental or the other. So trying to
And,
get
and
everybody.
the state and the Florida League of Cities has been lobbying against it for as long as I've been on council. The state every year tries to supersede
Yes.
home rule
Yeah.
when it comes to short-term rentals, and the Florida League of Cities has been excellent
Yeah.
at protecting home
But
rule.
you need to be more specific about when you say supersede that. What the state wants to do is allow a homeowner to do whatever they want to do. That's what they're trying to
Right.
supersede. They're trying
Right.
to take away your rules from your council and from your city to let the homeowner. They feel like it's property rights. So people that own their houses should be allowed to do whatever they want. That's their view.
And I don't disagree with that. But when you buy your property, there's already rules and procedures in place. Those are your rights when you buy the property. You don't get to buy the property and then say, I want to change the rules to meet what I want to do now because
For
I
now,
now own
for
the
now.
property.
Until the state changes it.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think the state will. I mean, there's a lot of people that are involved in trying to stop this. And I know that the state has tried, and every year it fails. Maybe one year it will go through. We don't know. But, this is about the protection of people. The focus of Fort Myers Beach is to stay a community, right? I don't think anybody wants it to be 100% tourist town because that's what it would lead to. If you could have anybody rent any house every single day, you're not going to want,
No.
people aren't going to want to live here. They're not going to want to
100%.
raise their family here. They're not, and I don't think the town incorporated to protect against that. In 1995, the town said, we don't want that, Lee County. We don't want to do it. So that's why on this 30th anniversary, it's important that we remember that why we incorporated was to protect against things like this. So, again, if people are playing by the rules, play by the rules. And that's all Rentalscape does.
Kim, I want to address your point, and I think it's a good one, an important one to talk about is if they are registering, right? If they're in the process of registering their property and they have a delay in getting a fire inspection because of the scheduling out. And I would like to say I've talked with Scott Worth numerous times about this. They're working as hard as they possibly can with the limited inspectors he has. And but to the point, some people have come in and started the registration process recently, late, with dozens of properties that they're asking all to be inspected. So they need to have patience. I'll say. But what we will do as a town is if they have started the registration process with the town, and if they are on the list to be inspected by the fire department, then we will take that into consideration when it comes to an eventual magistrate course case potentially if they are still in the process and haven't completed the process. We'll take that into consideration as we work with those homeowners on a case-by-case basis on what our recommendations will be to the magistrate. But again, I'm with the mayor. I recommend to continue to rent those properties while not registered. They're assuming a lot of risk. We would not encourage them to do
especially
that.
from a safety standpoint. I mean, that's why the rule is there for the fire inspectors to go in, and it's not fair to have all these people now registering, trying to get caught up, and they're registering 27 homes and there's 3 inspectors, and then there's going to be a wait. There's going to be
There are other
wait.
things from
How-
a town perspective too. Obviously, the fire safety and other safety concerns. Fire departments purview. But also we have public safety concerns here, for me as the town manager, public works demand, additional demands
Right.
on our town that we need to know how many of those properties are out there and registered and how many people are actively, going through those towns so I can adjust my town resources accordingly.
So
and
Nan-
it's not, and this is, and people that try to say this is a money grab, it has nothing to do. What is it, $300?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's nothing in the world of
Yeah.
short-term rentals.
And
Great,
that,
you
and
know.
that, by the way, that money needs to go back into the managing of the rental.
you
And
can't.
so
the
it's
town
not
can't
like,
profit
No.
from
yeah,
it.
just so everybody knows
Absolutely.
that money is used for the same purpose in the vacation rental
Are you gonna-
department. I know that's not a department.
Well, that pays for
Yeah,
it pays for
code.
the administrative
Yeah.
staff to be able to make sure it pays for Rentalscape. It pays
Absolutely.
for all the things that come within the short-term rental.
Yeah.
Just like the jet skis and just like the parasailing, I said that it's a very nominal fee that for the license every year, but that's to ensure compliance.
And that money has to be used for that, or can it be used for something else?
There was discussion back again before Will got here about if you remember, one of our former counselors was trying to do a per room charge,
Yeah.
and there was an increase, and some of us voted against it, some of us voted for it, and the idea was to use that money for the general fund, and I don't believe that is the right thing to do.
no, that was a dumb idea.
Yeah, I don't, I think.
That
And,
was
and I think
overcharging.
we're one of the cheaper
Yes.
people in Florida
is
when it
correct.
comes to what your fees are.
We're right around
annually.
on the bottom of the average. Yep.
How
So
does-
we're not looking to make money off this.
No.
We're looking to make sure that
Manage the
for us
department.
it's about safety, and that's why we're so thankful
on,
that the
let me
fire
ask you a
department is
question.
involved. We've all been on this island long enough to remember when houses have burned down with people in it. I mean,
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
lost some lifelong people.
We got a question here
Yeah,
from
go ahead.
Nancy. Does Rentalscape check for weekly rentals in monthly, or just that rental is registered?
No, it checks for. So it checks for. My understanding is it, and this is the reason that we went after this, or Andy went after this, was it checks for it scours the internet. It looks at Airbnb. It looks at any rental companies out there, and what it looks for is it looks at their calendar. So it can see your calendar. It can see how much you're charging. It can see when it's rented, when it's blocked off. So what it does is that it provides visibility to people to say, and what it will do is it will send out violations for us. It will actually, if you're in a monthly street and it catches you renting weekly, it will send out the violation on behalf of the town.
Yeah, and the big part of this is trying to get everybody to play by the same rules. There are people that are breaking the rules,
Well,
that are
sure, they
skirting the
can-
rules, and that's not fair to the people that are paying the right rates and
They want to
playing
do it
by
the right
rules.
way, and they want to, yeah. I mean, everybody wants, we all want everybody to succeed. But again, the rules are in place. And when you buy a property down here, you need to do your due diligence. Is it a monthly street if you plan on renting it out? Is it a monthly street? Is it a weekly street? There's a reason, and I'm not a realtor, but I bet if you ask all the realtors out there, there's a reason the houses that are on weekly rental streets probably sell faster than ones that are on a monthly street.
Yeah, and they're going through the same thing in Cape Coral. They just raised the fees in Cape Coral, but they have four. I think they said they have
They've got a
either
lot.
4 or
A
8,000
lot.
homes that are
Yeah.
unregistered vacation rentals in the Cape, which is insane to try and manage.
Well, and I
number
think
like that.
I think what people, there's so much that goes into it. When you rent out a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house, where do all those, is that 4 cars coming?
Sure.
Is it,
Right.
so when you start seeing people parking in right of ways, then if an ambulance or a fire truck needs to get down there, or a police car,
Yeah.
and they can't get by because the cars are in the right of way. So it's not just about,
Right.
it's making sure that everybody's playing, to your point, Ed, is playing by the same rules,
Yeah.
and that we're providing as best public safety as we can, because I wouldn't want to be 3 houses down, have a heart attack, and they can't get to me because an Airbnb that's unregistered in a monthly street is renting every day, and the cars are parked and backed up down the street. They can't get. I mean, there's
Yeah,
things more than
anything
just
could
people
happen.
making money.
well, I got
What was
one.
your question?
The question is,
Her-
does
yeah,
Chief
her-
Worth have enough?
Well, and
Inspectors
that's
to
a
do
question
the
for
yearly-
Chief Worth.
I know they have been looking for more employees. I don't know if they're specifically for that, but the chief has said he's still hiring.
Yes, I don't want to speak for Scott Worth, but yeah, he's at a disadvantage right now trying to keep up, but they're doing the best they can to keep up, and he's even looking for support from other agencies.
Yeah, and don't forget, folks, it's government light. That's what you voted for, government light. You can't expect things the next day when you're government light,
Well, and
and you
again,
don't approve a tax
you
increase.
know, and if you look at it, if we were sitting here saying there's no businesses coming or there's nobody rebuilding, we'd be having a totally different
Yeah.
conversation. That's why I said progress can sometimes be painful. And this is part of that growing pain as you continue to
Right.
grow. We went through it with a plethora of permits right after the storm for demolition that
Right.
showed you that people wanted to get moving, and you just have to have the resources to be able to do it. You got to outsource it sometimes. And I know Chief Worth he's a great guy. He's
Yeah.
doing everything he can to make sure they can get to it as fast
Yeah,
as
and he's got to deal with Adam Botana breathing down his neck to try and merge the fire department with Iona McGregor. So the last question for Will, and we'll let you go. We appreciate you coming over. And I don't even really want to ask this question because I love the hot dog, the Detroit Dogs people, but it is another food truck. Can you explain how that was able to take place when I thought there were going to be no more food trucks?
Well, when that application came in, I asked a similar question to my staff, and that it was informed of the staff that it is a business that, at least that type of business did exist at that location before. I reached out to the owner. We had a discussion about that because I wanted to make it clear to the property owner and the business owner that to even be considered with the other, as long as they meet the other conditions of the temporary placement permit, to even be considered, what are their plans to build, to a long-term business at that location. I was assured that they have plans. I haven't physically seen those plans yet, but just like I've done with the others and like I've discussed with council as we go through this ETPP process going forward is, one of those key things is obviously that they meet all the FEMA requirements for flood zone compliance, but that they're showing actual effort, good effort to rebuild a brick and mortar.
Yeah,
on that
and I think
location. I was assured that is the plan.
I do know the owners of that food truck, and they did say they were planning to put
so like the
permanent
others,
location.
so like the others, as now some of them were almost at the 3-month mark of when I granted some of the initial ETPPs, where some others were a little bit shorter than that. But as we work through this process, we'll be reaching out to them, continue to remind them that no extensions will be granted if they're not actually moving forward with that
So
process.
along those lines, again, keep in mind that I pick on Terry Prasad, so please keep that in mind. He doesn't have plans to build on the Dairy Queen lot. There are things in that lot now. What's going on there?
There are open cases.
Oh, okay. There are code cases on those.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I should.
With the
You
exception
should
of
do your
with the exception
research.
with the boom. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to be clear, Ed. If you're referring to the ice cream trailer and the kiosk, the retail kiosk that he has in that location, those are approved.
Yes.
To continue as long as he's continuing his construction. But if you're referring to
That black trailer, not even the boat.
there's an open case.
Yeah, and then, because I know there are no plans in the portal for any building in the Dairy Queen lot. I know he's planning to build in the other lot, and perhaps the town is going to allow him to take those trailers that are in Times Square and move them in the Dairy Queen lot. I don't know. Maybe that's what the plan is. And did you once say that the weed truck is on its way out soon? Is that thing no comment?
It should be gone.
Oh, okay. It should be gone. Very
It
nice.
should be gone. I'll drive by on my way home.
No,
and
no,
make
no,
sure.
no. I'm just.
No, I will.
Well, what is
Oh,
your-
don't worry. Somebody will. But you don't
I'm
have
sure
to.
somebody
Just
will let me
wait.
know before I
They're-
drive
they're
home.
down-
you,
there- people are
you won't
running
even put the
down there
microphone
now.
down and you'll find out.
Well, what is your vision as the town manager of Times Square?
Oh, definitely that. Really, it's a broader vision than that. You're talking with the staff. We want to bring back Times Square to its former glory and really make it all the way tied in from Bayside Park all the way down up the street here, down to Times Square, all the way across to one large retail park. Like you see in many other downtown areas, especially areas that are on a coastal or a bay area like this. That's our vision. Mine and the staff is to help the businesses, help the property owners in this area to get back to that, to where we have not that everything looks the same. I think I agree with a lot of people that they love that old vibe of Fort Myers Beach, eclectic. Everything was not uniform. Everything wasn't cookie cutter. But we want to see one continuous, almost like park area throughout here and throughout Times Square, tied in with obviously working with the county on the pier and their parks down in that area, so that they're also part of that vision. And I've discussed this with the county manager as well. And we've had some discussions with other leaders about looking at some special mechanisms we can use as far as
Can that area ever become a
encouraging
CRA?
businesses. That's one thing we are looking into very closely is a CRA for this whole area, the whole area I just described, which would then allow us as the town to partner with businesses to really set up a separate, almost like a CRA district, someone run separately by a separate board, separate director that would work with the town to bring that vision in.
And if
So
anyone,
yep.
if anyone doesn't know what a CRA is, it's the South Cape. If you go to the Cape, the South Cape, which is where all this new development is coming up, it's its own taxing district. And what happens is they get taxed specifically because there was blight there before. And
Yeah,
you
the
could say-
money goes back into that
It just goes
specific
back
Yeah, and if
into
you look
that
at
area.
downtown, like Fort Myers downtown right now, that was a very effective use.
Oh, that
very-
was a
of
CRA?
similar-
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yep.
they did a great job. And Mayor Anderson has been great about providing all that documentation
Oh, cool.
to us to say, here's what we did.
Yeah.
I've had
It
probably been
works.
a year and a year
It
and a half
definitely
now.
works.
I've had before we even started down this path, we had to find out because it has to be approved by the county commission.
Yep.
So, I reached out to all the county commissioners and talked to them. Not one of them said no. They did give some advice. Maybe look at how Benita did it with their tax TFFs.
You okay?
Yeah.
been
So,
a long
but
show.
it's been a while. Well, it's been a while since I've talked to them, but none of them said no. So I think it's something on the table, and I know that we've been pushing to try to do this because that's another thing the state is looking to take away.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see.
They're looking to totally eliminate CRAs because people have abused it.
It's amazing how when you see Adam and you see
If there's a motorcycle going by with a radio,
you see Adam and you see Senator Martin here. They're always so nice and they're always so helpful. Then when they go to Tallahassee, they want to take everything away. They
I
wanna-
wouldn't put it specifically on them. Those guys
no,
have done a
not
great
those
job
guys,
for us,
but the legislature together wants to take home rule away from everybody. So, but we know you're coming on next week, and we'll have a ton of questions for you. So, thank you very much for coming on and
Thanks,
filling
Ed.
us in. Thank
Thanks,
you. Big
Kim.
hand
Yeah,
for the
thanks for
town
popping in,
manager,
yeah.
everybody. Any final thoughts, Dan? Did we miss anything that you wanted to talk about?
No, I wish everybody a happy New Year.
Yeah.
It was a great New Year. I mean, it was cold, but I think everybody had a good time, and I'm still getting emails about the fireworks, and I can assure you that the staff is working with local leaders to try to make sure we get that back for the 4th of July and hopefully going forward. But I want to reiterate to anybody that is still listening, this was not a decision that was made 2 weeks or 3 weeks before.
Right.
It was made back in September. So we apologize that maybe it didn't get to you, from Ohio or
Guess
Minnesota.
you're not
or,
listening to us then, because we talked about it.
Or watching
Yeah.
the town council meetings? It was
Well,
pretty
but,
clear.
But it was a necessary step. But it was still a great event. It was still a great.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people down here. I think the business had fun. It was a little cold for all of us, but it was fun, and we're looking forward to a positive 2026.
Cold
Can I
is
talk
relative.
about, add onto that real quick? I'd
Yes.
just like to say thank you to the community. We've gotten a wonderful community donation for a barge potentially for next time. Somebody, a good community member, and many others that are working with groups on donating money that could then potentially be donated for fireworks fund. So more guidance will come out on that from us in the town here shortly. But thank you, everybody. That's really the best way for us to get through this, because I don't really want, it really should be a total community effort. Definitely the town will take on a big brunt of running these types of things and setting them up. But the donations and community support is the way forward. Public-private partnership. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Would he have to run to the bathroom or what?
I don't.
You
There
just
we
push
go.
buttons. There
no,
you go.
He's already been twice in the amount of time. I haven't even gotten a break here. It's
Well, the
like,
good news is he
and
hasn't
I'm not-
spilled
not
anything on his
getting- I want-
computer.
I want double time and a half for this show.
I think
mean,
you
this
should put
is
his
re-
headphones on.
So
Watch
I
him
can
come
look
back and
like-
freak out. Just put his headphones on. Does it make a difference? I mean, can you
Oh,
hear?
it's so much better with these on, because all the ambient outside
It's not-
stuff.
yeah.
It's easy.
So
to
now I
block
can
out
say I'm
everything.
whispering sweet nothings into your ears.
Wow. Where did Megan go?
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I'm used to blocking him out, so I can do the show without headphones, because it's just like every other day. So,
Yeah.
well, if you
It
don't,
becomes an art form to block him out.
yes, with enough practice, it gets habitual. So there you go.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you
Happy
coming
Sunday.
on as always, and nice to wrap up the year and We look forward to seeing you next week. Yeah, I know. Well, it's a long time. All right. So, well, no, he's got to read Power Block Bill. What are you doing? Come on. All right. Well, I'm leaving anyways. Good luck. I'll see you at home. Take care of the dogs.
This is
Thank you so much for coming today, dear. Appreciate it very much. Big hand for my wife, everybody, of 44 years. Thank you all for sticking into the end. A lot of good information there. I'm going to snip that interview that we did with the heli guy so you guys can see that. And I'll include the information with that where you can contact their company and keep you informed on that. Thanks to Power Block Builders for being one of our sponsors today. And Oscar is going to be on the show next Saturday when we're at Margaritaville. Homes by Power Block, an elevated home builder committed to helping families and communities recover after devastating impacts of hurricanes. The team specializes in creating resilient, safe, and beautifully crafted homes so you can rebuild not just a house, but a home where new memories can flourish and last forever. Because we all love memories. Life is about making memories. Go out and make some memories today, people. Because, you know, we're all going to die eventually, and none of this will matter one lick. Mom's Home Cooking. You go down Estero Boulevard right now, you see the long line at Mom's. They have fabulous food, and they've been doing the Mom's and Heavenly Biscuit thing for 25 years, serving breakfast, lunch, and treats like their world-famous cinnamon rolls. It's 2450 Estero Boulevard, but you'll never miss it because you'll see the long line. 7:30 to 1. They're closed on Monday so they can take a deep breath and make more cinnamon rolls. So stop by when you can or give them a call, 239-785-0707. We'll see you guys next week, and you have a great Sunday. And go Giants. Lose, please. Have a great day. Bye-bye.